Hello, everyone. Hey, this is our Plexus. This is for my Plexus team and how to accelerate our breakthrough moment and to kind of get into the psychology of what we need to do to have our breakthrough moment and to change our business and our lives. So, the chokehold on our business, the reason why we're getting stuck, why the chokehold on the growth of our business is always you. It always comes back to us. It's not about your leaders or your ambassadors or Plexus or MLM as a whole. It's always about us and about our psychology. Psychology is 80% of this business. The mechanics is 20%. I can teach you mechanics all day long, but you'll never do it until you have the right psychology. So let's define some terms right now. This is to accelerate our breakthrough. So breakthrough, excuse me, is a moment in time when you have an opening. You see clearly. You have a moment of clarity that puts everything into place. A moment in time when everything changes and you can feel it. You just know that something has changed. So everybody wants a better quality of life. Everybody wants a life that is greater, but almost all of us will get stuck at times. And sometimes, something stops us and prevents us from doing something that we're really capable of doing. We have everything within us to do our wildest dreams and to do whatever we want because we have God within us. Stuck in what we aren't supposed to be, what we are not supposed to do, what others don't think we're capable of, what we think we are capable of or not capable of. We want better finances. We want to be happy and fulfilled. I mean, that is the bottom line. When we're feeling fulfilled, then we feel like we're progressing. We want our better bodies, we want better health, but we can get stuck in an emotional pattern of being angry, worried, sad, overwhelmed, all those feelings that come about us that are negative that can get us stuck. So sometimes it's habits of doing things a certain way. When we do things a certain way all the time, we think it's part of our personality instead of a behavior that can be changed. So breakthrough is brought on by some insight, something you watch, someone you may have talked to, a movie you watch, you do something, you are being inspired. So something clicked and made you look at life a different way and through a different filter. You know it's a breakthrough because you have taken this little moment, this little emotion, this little insight, and you do something to make your life better. You do something to make your life extraordinary and incredible. You break out of the impossibility that life has to be this way. You say no more. You start to take your life back. So your life is constantly calling us to grow and improve. And that's what makes people happy is progress. This is what I call our secret to happiness is progress. We are happy when we are progressing and moving forward. We don't need a perfect plan and we don't need to wait for perfection because perfection will never get here and then things will never happen. Our breakthrough will never happen. So breakthrough happens the moment we make a new choice. We don't have to wait for our breakthrough. We just have to get in a new state. I'm changing now. I'm getting a new thought. I'm changing my thinking, my psychology, and this is our new state. And we're going to talk more about this later. But first, we're going to go over crisis. So life is all about the choices we make. If we don't make the right choices, eventually crisis will come. When we have made bad choice after bad choice, crisis is going to eventually come. It's going to all come to a head, and it's going to be that panic moment when we feel ourselves panicking and can't see a future. So everybody wants to make their life better, but don't want to change it. We don't want to change our psychology. We want to keep living in the same state, the same decisions we've always made. We don't want to have the discipline to make the change. So why do we stay in a crisis? Could be our bad behavior is being reinforced and rewarded. If we yell at our children, yell at our spouse, if we smoke or overeat, waste time, and it's rewarded through others not being truthful with us, then in our own minds, this becomes a habit and becomes part of our personality. And we think, we tell ourselves, this is who I am. This is just who I am. You're just going to have to live with it. Why do we reward them? Why do we reward people for their bad behavior? It's one of the reasons could be because we want to see people make bad decisions so we don't have to better our own life. So again, it always comes back to us. When we're seeing somebody else making bad decisions and we're rewarding them, it always comes back to us. We become addicted to our problems. We make miserable comforters for each other because we reward each other for our bad behaviors. And then we actually believe that it's part of who we are. But remember, behaviors can always be changed with discipline and truth. And we're going to go over those. So why do some people make bold decisions to change and others stay where they are and keep making bad decisions? Why do some people stand their ground and make something change and others accept things? Why do some make bold decisions and other people make decisions that are based on trying to hang on to what they've got? They cannot let go of what they've got, even if it's bad behavior and a bad decision. So let me relate a story to you that really helped me to understand this. And it's a story of a father that is not a very good father. He has been on drugs, alcoholic, been abusing alcohol, been abusing his wife, this children's mother. And he's been in and out of prison, in and out of rehab, so on and so forth. We see it every day, making bad decisions and bad choices. And when, this happened in the prime years of these children when they needed their father there. So like from 2 to 5 years old, they're actually birthed from to 5 years old. And even, in their teenage years, children always need their father. So anyway, these children have now grown up. And one of the sons actually has been very successful, has a great family life, is a Christian and a follower of Jesus, and has made great decisions in his life, successful in his business, successful in all things. And the other son is just like his dad, in and out of prison, abusing drugs, alcohol, abusing women. And so these sons were asked, why do you think you turned out this way? And they both said the same thing. It's because of the way we grew up. So some people choose to use those struggles and use those situations to make themselves bitter. And some people use those situations and the way they grew up as an excuse to make them bitter and to stay the way they are. So what we do know is that when we change our decision, when we change our behavior, it will change our lives. So change that force that controls those decisions, and we can change anything in our lives. So let's look at crisis situation a little bit deeper and give you some ways that to help you to get over a crisis situation, because we can get stuck in that same rhythm and that same pattern in our lives, and we've got to know how to break through and how to get out of that system. So the first thing is to see it as it is, but not worse than it is. Don't make it so horrific that you give up and you say there's no hope. This is called learned helplessness, and we've all seen people in this state. They just keep doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity, by the way. They feel like there's nothing they can do. There's no hope. They're completely stuck in this pain. So don't make it outside of your control, but see it as it is. Number 2, get to the truth and deal with it. Again, see it as it is, but not worse than it is. It can't be turned around is something that we need to get out of our head. It can be turned around. It can be changed, and you can retool your life. So we have all dealt with injustice and not, life not being fair. So we need to deal with the reality, what's really going on. And the longer you wait, the worse the crisis will get. Again, bad decision after bad decision is just going to lead to more and more crisis. So deal with what it is. The truth will set you free. When you finally see what's really going on, kind of look at it from an outside perspective and see it truthfully, you will feel a freedom and a burden lifted. You might not like what you find. We don't always like what we find when we see truth, but this is what will cause change and get you to see what is really going on, the underlying reason of this crisis. Was it your poor choices? You didn't have enough strength. And remember, it has to all point back to us. Everything is pointing back to us. So don't blame this on your family. Don't blame this on your background. Don't blame this on your kids, your spouse. It all comes to us and what we need to do to change. We can't change anybody else but ourselves. You're the only one that needs to change right now. You know this isn't working. You know you want a breakthrough. You know you're sick and tired of this. So tell yourself the truth. Number 3, get a vision, get strong, and step up in your life. It's time to build that confidence in yourself and just know that everything you have to accomplish whatever goal you have set is within you. We need a compelling future, a compelling goal to propel us forward and to make us change instead of feeling like we're always pushing to get to where we need to go, because that will wear you out. We need something to work towards. Where the people lack vision, they perish. That's in the Old Testament of the Bible. Where the people lack vision, they will perish, they will die, they will be in a continual crisis situation. We need something to go for, something to give us the emotional and psychological fuel to get to where we want. Emotions is the key to changing our psychology. We have to have an emotional attachment, a strong purpose, a strong enough why to get through what we need to go through. Number 4, get a role model. These will give you new ideas, new strategies. Take their strategies and take action. You know you've made a decision when you take action. We need to learn from someone who has been there and done that. We need to learn from them to be able to close this gap from where we are to where we want to be. So if we're a silver ambassador, gold ambassador, and we want to get to diamond, we need to talk to people who have closed that gap and who have taken that time and know what it takes to be diamond. This will save us a huge amount of time and energy, and we aren't trying to reinvent the wheel. We can always come up with new strategies, but they need to stay in that same realm as what your mentor, what your role model has gone through and taught you. So get with someone who is where you want to be and find a way to do well with their knowledge. Don't throw away what they have given you. Be respectful and be coachable and trainable and do what they have asked you to do. So give. Number 5 is to give much more than you receive. And this is key. This is where you step out of yourself and finally give more than you've ever given before. And it's not to receive anything. It's just to live a fulfilled life and to give. So you find a way to meet people's needs. And this, like I said, this is a game changer. Invest your time in them, pour into them, training and emotional strength, psychology, make their goals your goals. And once you do that, they will see it, they will respect you, they will then follow your lead. Work your tail off. Your team is going to work as hard as you work. Just know that your team is going to work as hard as you work. So when they see you pouring into them and working as hard as you are working your tail off, then they are going to follow that lead and they are going to learn from you. So let's talk about some of our past decisions so we can help others to make better decisions in the future. And this is something that I want you to start a conversation with. And this was listed, these questions were listed in our post in Create Residual Income, our 30 business building activity that we have going on for 30 days. So let's start a conversation with each other. Let's learn from each other and be transparent. So number one, what's been one of the toughest times of your life that you have made it through? This might have been a relationship, financial, education, career, physical, health, confidence issues. What is an obstacle in your life that you have had to overcome? So remember to look at it very clearly, be transparent and honest with yourself. Number two, what pulled you through the situation? Think about that situation. What did you learn? What distinction did you come up with? Was it a strategy, a belief, or someone you met, someone you talked to, or did you just kick yourself into gear? You know, enough is enough. This is what I've learned, and I'm going forward from here. What pulled you through the tough times? Was it a person, a place, or distinction? And tell us from your heart. Again, make sure you tell us from your heart so we can learn. Number three, now contrast your life before this crisis. What was your life like before this crisis? Like right before it all broke loose, right before it all come to a head. We usually find that it wasn't all that great. We usually see some of the signs that were leading up to this crisis that, it was all going downhill and leading up to this major problem or crisis. Number four, what did you do to get to where you were to where you are today? How did you overcome that crisis? What did you get what did you do to get over it, through it, around it? What action did you take? What skill? What did you physically do? Share so we can learn from you. You might have a shortcut that could help some of us. So number five, how is your life better because of this crisis? How are you stronger, happier, more compassionate, more hopeful because you made it through? Did you get a new skill? Are you better emotionally, physically, financially? What is it and how did it make your life better because of this crisis? So we all want to know how you made it through this crisis. The next video, I'm going to close this video. The next video, we're going to delve a little deeper into our breakthrough and really get to the meat and bones of this and some of the things that we need to change and to have to accelerate our breakthrough.